Guys, Loyal Logic coming at you with another video. What I'd like to talk about today is being sick, and why I believe mentioning that in your videos is just a bad thing. Now, let me explain. I'm not talking about if you have cancer or a major illness or disability. That's perfectly understandable because it affects your life on a major scale. But what I'm talking about is things from I'm depressed to a nerve condition. These are things that, unfortunately, I don't think the viewer needs to know. Unless you've made that around your channel or it's something so, that you have to say it. It's like, it's right there. Okay, I can see that Loyal Logic, he's coughing all the time, so he's going to mention it. But if it's not something you need to mention, then focus on the content. I believe a lot of people talking about depression now, it's hurt people that actually have depression. And, now you have people like Tipster, who I fully respect. Go check him out. Fantastic channel. I've been subscribed to him for a while. But he said on a live stream he was going to make a response to Memology's kids or the YouTubers depressing. And he didn't want to because, one, he didn't want to get the wrong idea that he was going after Memology. Which I said in the chat, I was like, no, he's perfectly fine. But that shows you that people are so afraid to talk about their own legitimate issues. And I believe Tipster 100%, he's a good man. I would believe nothing of the sort that he's a liar. If anybody's like, oh, Tipster's a liar, unless they had evidence. So when he would say he's depressed and stuff, I would go, okay, I'm going to listen. But it's scary that people are not willing to talk about the issues now because so many people have come out saying they're depressed, and it's hurt people who have it legitimately. And that's why I say it's better not to talk about it at all. Because what it does is when you talk about it in any context, it hurts the people who have the legitimate condition. So again, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying don't talk about it. But there are people that mention things. From I don't feel good today to all the way up to nerve condition, and everything in between. I'm not talking about the cancer. I have to say that again, like the major stuff. I'm not talking about disabilities. I'm not talking about that stuff. Because a lot of people have nerve conditions and you wouldn't be able to tell. And that's the case because they manage it well. There's people that have Tourette's that manage it well. And you would be surprised how many people don't mention that they have those things that are right in front of you. So you have to realize that people like Tipster should be able to speak freely, and the fact that he couldn't really hurts me personally because I feel he should have, because he's the type of guy that if it's affecting him and he feels like he should talk about it, he should. But because of all this, all the people talking, it's hurt him. Now I'm rambling in this video, but it's something to where I just don't get it. I don't understand people having to put it all out there for everybody to hear. It makes no sense. People want content. Telling people you're depressed and you don't, that's not content. That's not content. No one signs up to a channel to go, oh, I want to hear someone talk about how depressed they are. I mean, I'm sure there might be a channel out there, but I'm not aware of it. If there is, put it in the comments below and let me know what channel sits there and talks about how depressed they are daily. It's a very depressing channel. But, yeah, you just should not be talking about your illness and your personal life too much on YouTube. You need to focus on the content. And that's where I think I didn't mention this too much in my H3 video. I think that's where H3 went wrong too in his content. He started including a lot of his personal life and all that, and people didn't sign up for that. They didn't care. That's not saying that there wasn't people that cared, but you have to weigh the majority versus the minority. There was a very few people, minority, that cared about, going to Israel. Like, hey, that's all well and good, dude. I don't know anybody that was subscribed to H3 Productions that was like, oh, wait, I can't wait for the Israeli trip video. I mean, there might have been some people, but you compare the views of the content versus the vlog type stuff, I mean, it's not even close. So, and I'm sorry to be rambling, but it's something that's very weird to me. I don't understand people talking about how depressed they are and how sick they are and, oh, my relationship bad, my boyfriend broke up with me, all that stuff, when that's not your channel. Even if you're a vlogging channel, okay, I get it. I'm not talking about those type of channels. I'm not talking about those channels. Those channels are daily videos. Okay, if you feel depressed, well, then obviously you might have to say something because the viewers are going to notice. But if it's a channel like this, you should only mention it if it's something where it's going to impede the content. You know, you shouldn't, you know, I'm going to say this, I don't need to. Went to the hospital the other night. I mean, I'm still making videos. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not using it as a sympathy play. I don't even want to say that. I didn't even want to say it on social media. But it's almost like, come on, you guys, let's get off the crap cake here. Let's be honest. Going to hospital is not a fucking big deal. Okay, it's not. People make it out to be that it's some big issue. No, most of the time, hospitals in the United States, it's in and out within 6 hours. You know, if it's major, you're staying. If it's not, you're out. It is what it is. Especially if you're the type of person, then you're used to it. So I just think people really are taking advantage of the situation that we have here on YouTube because ads have rolled back, viewership's down, so they're having to go to these extremes. I'm leaving YouTube. I'm depressed on YouTube. My girlfriend's breaking up with me. And it's not true, and they're exaggerating the truth. There was a story that was ran, I forget who originally ran about these two guys on YouTube, and they said, we're dying. And it was like, dude, you're not dying. It's like, you never were. And it's just bold-faced bullshit lies. And I believe King might have covered it. But it was just like, come on. I mean, you got a massive amount of dislikes, and it didn't help your channel at all. And now the guys came out and said, now the power of Christ is going to heal them. Sorry. It's like, come on. What the heck's going on here, folks? So, I mean, I just wanted to put that out there. And people might go, come on, Logic. This makes no sense. You're telling people to talk about it, to not talk about it. It's not making any sense. I'm just trying to get people to realize that this is a very fine line that we're toting. We're toting a very fine line with content creation when we introduce elements of depression and being sick and not feeling good and personal life issues into channels that necessarily would never talk about that. Again, if it's a vlogging channel, I understand, but there's very few channels, even a person that live streams every day. If you're live streaming games, I don't see the need for you to tell your viewers that you feel depressed. If you don't want to play games, just say, hey, I'm doing something today. There you go. But I feel some people go and they'll tweet, oh, I'm not streaming today, I feel really depressed, to get sympathy. And I'm not taking away anything from their depression. I just don't understand why you have to tell your viewers that when they're not viewing you. Now, there are people who say, oh, it's because they have a personal connection with these people. But they don't. This is Fantasyland. Stop thinking that. You don't have a personal connection with anybody online. Get a grip, folks. You don't. And it sucks. It might be a hard pill to swallow, but you don't. You don't know me and I don't know you. We interact through the internet. But like I've said in past videos, if I met any of you guys in real life, oh my God, that'd be great. You would be like, wow, Logic's the same guy in his videos. You'd be like, yeah, because I'm straightforward and honest. I'm a good person. I'm not fake, folks, but I feel I had to say some of this stuff. And I feel a lot of these people you're watching, it's like Markiplier. He puts out some videos that I just go, what is Markiplier doing? Like he did, Memeology covered it, but I just kind of was like shaking my head at it. He did a pole dance video and was wearing a cloak. And then he was promoting the clothing brand. And it was like, dude, you're supposed to be family-friendly content. I mean, it's just like, I don't know what this guy's doing. That's another thing that he did to show that he can do it and get away with it. Someone else does it, demonetized. I guarantee you that video had ads on it. If not, it kind of did. It had a cloak. So I'm rambling, folks. I mean, I just felt like I had to say this because it's something that really icks me when people say I'm depressed. And people feel the same way I do. I know they do. They don't want to hear it. They just want the content. Most people watching YouTube are of the same caliber as me. If it's not major, don't mention it. If you have a major illness, well, of course, say something. If you're very, very depressed and you feel you have to say it, well, of course, say something. But if it's minor depression, or you don't want to make a video today, or you just don't feel good, don't feel up to it, just say, hey, I'm not up to it today. You don't have to make it worse, because depression now is blown up. And then you have someone like Tipster, who's a good man, who can't talk about his issues because he feels that, well, I don't want him to feel like I'm going after him. It's pretty sick, folks, because I love Tipster. When he said that, I meant to make this video the other day, but it was Thanksgiving, so I didn't have time. It is what it is, folks. It's weird to me. Don't get it. I don't know why everybody's, has to be so, like, straightforward and honest so much. Like, there's some things you have to keep to yourself, to keep your own life. Some people put too much shit online. I just kind of think in my head, I'm like, how do people know where people live? Well, obviously, because they sat there and were online enough and people gave them a reason. And they went to go look into it. Well, and they found out where they lived. And you might go, come on, logic, that's doxing. That's wrong stuff. I'm not saying it's right. But when you put yourself in that position, it's crazy to me. It's just like we put so much effort into this content creation that it's now going to be hurting people in a good way and a bad way. The bad way being Tipster can't talk about it, and the good way of people like Onision, who I just did a video on, are not going to be relevant anymore. That's a good thing, because he shouldn't be relevant. He's a scumbag. And it is what it is, folks. I don't like any of this. I don't feel like I should have to say it, but I need to say it. Like, I don't know, folks. It is what it is. I really, I don't like it. It's just, you can tell I'm very frustrated with the whole issue of people talking about mental illness and stuff. It's just, it really gets to me. You can tell from my Better Help series, it made me very angry. I'm really sick and tired of this conversation. It should be dropped. The only people who should be talking about these issues are the people that legitimately have them. And if you don't have them, then don't be talking about them. There's no need to say you're depressed if you're really just a minorly depressed. I don't know, folks. You can tell I'm frustrated with it. It is what it is. Loyal Logic. Talk to you soon.